Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to yet another super cool, super awesome, and absolutely amazing session on the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. And the topic which we are going to discuss today is the evil quadrets and the types of conservation. Am I
Biodiversity
audible
and
to everyone?
conservation. And the topic which we are going to discuss today is the evil.
Yes. I hope it's clearly audible to each one of you. Yes, Nila. Good morning. If there is any issue related with any lagging or whatever, please just inform me on the chat box. Then only I'll be able to care about it. Okay. So as fast as you get any kind of an issue with the audio or video or any kind of a lagging issue, you have to suddenly inform me. Okay. So the evil quadrants and types of conservation is our topic for the day. Fine. Moving on with the class. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave the comment in the wonderful channel of Biopoint, Stream the World of Bio. First one is the impact. So this is where we stopped in our last class. Impact of biodiversity. Impact of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity has certain impact on the whole ecosystem. So first one is the decline in the plant production. First one is the decline in the plant production. Second one, there are certain environmental disturbances such as flood, drought. So flood, drought, etc. So these are some of the impact of the loss of biodiversity on the whole environment. Okay. Third one is the increased variability in the ecosystem processes such as plant productivity, water use, pest and disease cycle. So there is a great variation. Great variation among the different kinds of different kinds of processes happening inside our ecosystem. That is, plant productivity is affected, water cycle is affected, then the agricultural field is affected, and every natural actions are affected. So these are the main impact of the loss of biodiversity. Decline in the plant production, environmental disturbances such as drought, increased variability in the ecosystem processes, and plant productivity. Nila, 1 second. I don't know why the others have not joined. Let me just ask everyone. 1 second. Yes, back to the class. So these all are the different kinds of impacts of ecological imbalance or the loss of biodiversity on the environment as well as the other organism. Next one, we are going to discuss about something very important, that is the causes of loss of biodiversity or the evil quadret. What do you mean by quadret? Quadret means four. So there are four main evil causes. Four main evil causes for the loss of biodiversity, and we have each one in to discuss in detail. So first one, we have the habitat loss and fragmentation. So the evil quadret, first one, habitat loss and fragmentation. Second one, overexploitation. Due to the overexploitation of certain things, certain biodiversity things are being lost. Third one is the alien species inversion. Even though a natural variety is there on our environment, due to certain beautiful value of what it's a ornamental value, some external same species have been introduced. So that is alien species inversion. And last one is co-extinction. That is, two organisms will coexist together. That is, they have a mutualistic property. So first one, to discuss in detail about the first one, that is habitat loss and fragmentation. It is a most important cause, very important. What is the most important evil quadret? Most important cause for the loss of biodiversity, it is the habitat loss and fragmentation. For example, the loss of forest cover from 14% to 6% in tropical rainforest. In tropical rainforest, the percentage cover, the forest cover was reduced very tremendously. And thousands of hectares of rainforest are being lost within hours. So within each hour, thousands of rainforests are lost. Thousands of rainforests are being losing because of the habitat loss and fragmentation. The persons are just cutting down the trees for their own habitation. Look, the trees are being deforested. So deforestation is one of the main reasons which leads to habitat loss and fragmentation. Then next one is the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is being cut for cultivating soya beans and or for the conservation of grasslands for the cattle. So the Amazon rainforests have now been deforested. Look, this is the Amazon rainforest. Amazon rainforest holds a wide variety of species studied in the last class. A wide variety of species occurring in the tropical rainforest, Amazonian rainforest, etc. So the Amazon rainforests are now being deforested by certain people for cultivating a particular crop of soya bean and or else converting that particular land for grazing purposes. Next one is the fragmentation. As the term suggests human habitat loss, habitat loss and fragmentation. So fragmentation badly affects animal requiring large territory and migratory birds. That is, guys, this is a huge forest. So the humans have just fragmented this as a road. Okay, fragmented this as road. So that would be affected. That would be affected in most parts of Tamil Nadu. In most parts of Tamil Nadu, you could see this fragmentation is very common. In India, almost all the parts, but mostly in Tamil Nadu region, it's clearly visible. That is, you will be allowed to move through the forest. You will be having a trekking or an adventurous journey if you want to move through a forest. Why? Because the forests have been made as a passage for the people to travel. Okay, so this has been made a passage for the people to travel inside the forest. So this may adversely affect the movement of the animals. Second thing is the overexploitation. Very important. Stella sea cow. We have already studied about this. Stella sea cow, passenger pigeon are extinct due to. They will ask you an MCQ like this. This is a previous year Neet MCQ question. So Stella sea cow and passenger pigeon are extinct due to over exploitation by the humans. Because due to the over exploitation by the humans, these all are getting extinct. So this is about the over exploitation. You have to simply study the example for that. So over exploitation is caused due to, yes, dodo bird also, Stella sea cow, passenger pigeon, etc. are caused due to or extinct due to the over exploitation. Third one is the alien species inversion. Third one is the alien species inversion. So alien species causes a decline or extinction of the indigenous species. What do you mean by indigenous species? Means our own species or native species. After introducing these kind of an alien species, what happens? This become a foreigner country. Like in case of humans also, after the coming up of the foreigners, that become a foreigner country. So same like that, when the alien species, for example, a type of a mackerel, a fish, or a rohu or whatever, if just a species of another species is introduced, it will cause extinction or decline in the number of the indigenous species of organism. That is, for example, Nile perch. Nile perch was introduced into the Lake Victoria in the East Africa that caused the extinction of more than 200 species of cichlid fishes. Guys, this is the cichlid fish. Okay, so this Nile perch is a large fish. Look at this is the Nile perch. Nile perch, which was introduced into the Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria. Okay, Lake Victoria, it caused the extinction of more than 200 species of beautiful fishes like this. So this is an example for an alien species inversion. Yes, the last one before that about the plants also. That is in case of animals. Okay, Nile perch introduced into Lake Victoria caused the extinction of cichlid fishes. Next one is the invasive weed species such as the carrot grass, for example, Parthenium, then Lantana, water hyacinth, Eichhornia crassipus. What another name for water hyacinth? It is Eichhornia crassipus, biological name called terror of Bengal. Called terror of Bengal, and name the asexual reproductive mode by which this reproduces on the chat box fast. The asexual reproductive method by which water hyacinth or Eichhornia crassipus or terror of Bengal just reproduces. Absolutely, Nila. It is the offset formation that causes a tremendous increase in the number of water hyacinth. So this is the carrot grass or simply Parthenium. This is Lantana camera. Then this is water hyacinth. This is Lantana camera is not a native species. It is an alien species, but it is okay. This is an alien species, but this is cultivated in our home. This is planted in our home. We buy this from the garden and we cultivate it in our home. Next is illegal introduction of African catfish, Claris gariepinus. Okay, African catfish or Claris gariepinus for aquaculture. What do you mean by aquaculture? Aquaculture means cultivation of fishes, large cultivation of fishes. You will call it as the aquaculture. For example, another thing is horticulture. Horticulture. What do you mean by horticulture? Horticulture means cultivation of ornamental fruits, flowers and vegetable. Fruits, vegetables and ornamental flowers. Ornamental flowers also. That is horticulture. Similar, aquaculture is the cultivation of fishes. So it is posing a threat to the indigenous catfishes in our state, in our rivers. So guys, this is the image for the Indian catfish. This is the image for the Indian catfish. Okay, and this is an example, or this is the image for the African catfish, large one, right? African catfish is large as compared to Indian catfishes are small. So that is, you can just imagine, then definitely the larger fish will definitely eat out the small fishes. Last one, or the evil quadrant, is the co-extinction. So when a species become extinct, the species is associated with, the species gets associated with, also get extinct. For example, guys, extinction of parasite. Suppose a tapeworm is living inside my large intestine. Okay, consider a tapeworm is living inside my intestine, and I am dead. I died one day. And what happens is tapeworm will automatically gets died, or this tapeworm inside my body will automatically gets extinct because the host on which it depends on its food got extinct. Same, for example, plant pollinator. For example, you in chapter organism and population, you will study about mutualism, about the wasp and the fig tree. Wasp and the fig tree. What? The fig tree provides a platform. The fig tree provides a platform for the wasp to lay its eggs. And what does a wasp do in spite for that? It just helps in the pollination of that particular species of fig tree. Okay, so that is all about that. One second, let me check out how many are left out. Okay, 4 more we'll study in today's class. Next is the biodiversity conservation. Next is the biodiversity conservation. Going into detail about the biodiversity conservation, first slide is the reasons. What are the main reasons for conservation? So we studied about the causes, we studied about the consequences, and finally we are going to conserve the biodiversity hotspots, biodiversity regions of the earth. Okay, we are going to conserve the biodiversity. So for that you have certain reasons, right? One second, Nila. I could find 4 or 5 people online. One second. Okay, what are the main reasons for conservation? First one is the narrowly utilitarian arguments. Narrow utilitarian argument. That is a narrow. Narrow means not so wide. Second one is the broad utilitarian events. Third one is the ethical issues. Third one is the ethical issues. So these are the main reasons why we are going to conserve the forest. So why we are going to conserve the biodiversity of our area. Yes, Roshita. Yes, Nila. Okay, narrow means what are the narrow utilitarian events that we are going to get from the environment. First one, what are the following are the narrow utilitarian events. So narrow utilitarian benefits we are getting from environment. First one, we get certain kinds of economic benefits from nature, such as food, firewood, fiber, construction material, tannin, lubricant, dyes, resin, perfume, and medicine. So these are some of the narrow utilitarian. This is not so broad, right? But what can you say about the broad? Oxygen, food for all, oxygen, all these things. Food is coming under narrow. Oxygen, photosynthesis, oxygen. It's one of the most broadly classified arguments made by the plants. Then more than 25% of the drugs are derived from the plants, and 25,000 species of plants have medicinal value. So these are some of the examples. These are some of the examples for the narrow utilitarian events or the arguments. That is a food, tannin, fireworks, and something which we use for our day-to-day purpose. Next one, some of the broadly utilitarian arguments, that is biodiversity plays a major role in ecosystem services. Amazon forest produces more than 20% of the total oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere, and pollination through bees, bumblebees, birds, and bats. And you have the aesthetic pleasure. Aesthetic pleasure. So all these things are the examples for what? All these things are the some of the examples for the biodiversity broad arguments. Okay, some of the examples for the broad arguments made by our environment. Ecosystem services is the prime concern for our environment. That is pollination, pleasure, then lung of the planet. Lungs of the earth is referred to as the Amazonian rainforest, which produces more than 20% of the total oxygen in the earth's atmosphere. Next one, we have certain kind of an ethical approach. We should have a kind of an ethical approach towards our environment. That is, we are bound to the environment, right? So as a result, you have some kind of an ethical attraction or an ethical concern for your environment, which have an intrinsic value. So some people think that it is a moral duty to care the environment. So that is one kind. So guys, simply what does this mean is, simply it means why we are conserving the forest, why we are conserving the biodiversity of our earth. First one, for obtaining the narrow utilitarian arguments. That is, plants provide us with food, water, not water, food, then tannin, leather, everything. Certain things related with our day-to-day activities the plants will give. So that is one reason why certain people conserve the forest. Now the another set of people who conserve forests because they think that the what plants and the environment just provides us with oxygen. That is why they are not giving any trouble to the environment. Third one is the ethical arguments. Ethical arguments means since we have a moral concern for our environment, we should not cut down the trees. Okay, that is there. So guys, this is would be our last topic which we will be discussing in the lecture number 4, that is in next day's class. Fine, this should be a short lecture of just 30 minutes or 25 minutes only. Okay, today's lecture is also like that, only a short lecture, so I'll show you which all are left out. So starting from 49 to 63 you have left out. Okay, which we'll be discussing in the next class. So bye bye guys, take care, see you sharp at 11 o'clock with the super amazing new chapter, excretory products and elimination. Nila, to your kind information, you can just what you can just make certain polls and share it in our group, okay, so that you can make others also engaged with the works of any chapter. So today it is digestion, right? So it's most importantly you can just schedule whatever, even if it is completed chapters or whatever non-completed chapters also, you can make out MCQs and you can just share it, or else you can share it as a picture or photo or whatever. No issue for that. Okay, Nila. Okay, Roshita. Bye bye, guys. Take care. See you sharp at 11 o'clock with a supremely amazing lecture on excretory products and their elimination. 10 minutes or 20 minutes lecture. Very short lecture today.